This airline is known to offer some of the most opulent experiences in the sky, be it a live flight bed or your own suite. However, we're recording this episode because that particular loyalty program has just announced some big changes. And those changes will go into effect very soon from November 1, 2025. They've just announced some major changes. So let's get started with the episode as we dive deep into some of those changes and decode what's really going on. Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Travel Dialogue podcast. Our goal is to make you a smarter traveler. We are recording this episode on the go because there is some breaking news that we would like to share with you. Singapore Airlines has announced some major changes to their KrisFlyer program. Now, what are those changes and why they matter to you? Number one is the fact that Singapore Airlines is in a way very easily accessible in terms of their mileage program. They partner with multiple banks around the world to give you enough options to earn and redeem their miles. And that's one of the reasons why the Singapore Airlines KrisFlyer program is extremely popular. Whether you ask someone who's redeeming their miles for a flight in Southeast Asia or a flight in North America. Now, Singapore Airlines sent out an email today to KrisFlyer members. If you're not a member already, then please have a look at the link in the description below, and you will see the blog post which has all the details about the changes. However, if you haven't received any of the details so far, let me break it down to you. In my opinion, there are three major changes according to me. The very first is the introduction of a new way of redeeming your miles. Now, if you haven't flown Scoot before, Scoot is a subsidiary of Singapore Airlines and operates flights pretty much across different parts of Southeast Asia. Now, earlier, one was not able to redeem KrisFlyer miles for flights with Scoot. However, now you can indeed use your KrisFlyer miles to redeem when you fly with Scoot the next time. Now, that definitely, in my opinion, is a positive change because it gives you a lot more options when it comes to redeeming your KrisFlyer miles. Change number two. This is quite interesting, and I would really like to go in some detail over here, and let me share my screen. All right, then, if you haven't already received the email, I will put in the link for this page in the description below, and you can have a look at the entire article. But this is exactly what it looks like on the Singapore Airlines website. If you look at the second change that I was talking about was about the introduction of something called access redemptions. Now, those of you who have been earning and redeeming miles with Singapore Airlines over the years must be well versed with the concept of waitlisting awards. However, in case of access redemptions, they are slightly different from the way regular award tickets work. Now, the way Singapore Airlines spells it out over here is that they are saying essentially that these access award seats will be available to you in addition to award seats. So, what it basically means is that in addition to Saver and Advantage awards, you will have access to Access awards. Let's see what they say on their website. Seats available for Access redemption are over and above the seats available for award flights. With the new Access redemption option, you will be able to use your miles to secure available seats on your preferred flights, even if the award seats are fully redeemed. So what they're essentially saying that if there's a flight which has X number of seats and out of that a percentage of award seats are fully redeemed, you still have the option to added inventory by paying a price in miles. Now, here is the main thing that you need to know. That price in miles is variable. We will not know this until we can have a look at a real life example, and we'll only be able to view that after November 1st when the changes kick in. However, what this really means is that you will have more access to flights using your miles, but the biggest caveat over here is that the pricing is variable. For someone like me who loves award charts, the great thing about award charts is the fact that they offer you a lot of predictability. You know that for a given distance flown, this is the amount that you may end up paying. However, in case of access awards, that goes out of the window because Your amount may be variable based on demand, as Singapore Airlines puts out here on the website. Access redemption will also be available starting November 1, 2025, and once you log into your Singapore Airlines KrisFlyer account after November 1st, you should be able to use that feature. According to me, this feature is a bit of a hit and miss. Now, in the past, we have all been hit by the good old waitlist issue where we just don't find enough seats, and we don't do waitlist award seats because we don't really know what might happen towards the end. So the good thing about access to redemption is that unlike waitlisting a ticket, they are letting you get a confirmed ticket. The bad thing about access redemptions is that the pricing is variable. And again, I would reserve my judgment until the actual numbers come out in November, but I'm guessing that the pricing would definitely increase as you get closer to the date of your flight. Number 3, and this is the biggest one in my opinion. The biggest change coming here once again is the fact that Singapore Airlines is about to increase prices on their premium cabin redemptions. Over the years, Singapore Airlines has gained a fantastic reputation for offering some of the best hard and soft products in the sky. Their service is top-notch, and more often than not, their product is also impeccable. Another reason why they're so popular is the fact that Singapore Airlines KrisFlyer miles are very easy to earn across multiple geographies, be it through product partnerships or credit cards or transfer partners. Singapore Airlines is about to change some of the pricing on those awards. If you're someone who loves to redeem Singapore Airlines miles to fly in economy, you may still be doing okay. However, it does hit someone who frequently redeems the Singapore Airlines miles in premium cabins, especially business and first. Now let's have a look at the chart that is being presented over here. Now, before we go through the chart itself, let me tell you that Singapore Airlines has 2 different kinds of awards right now. One is Saver Awards and the other is Advantage Awards. If you look through previous episodes of this podcast as well, you will see that we already covered Singapore Airlines KrisFlyer Spontaneous Escapes. They often offer these Saver Awards at a 30% discount. The most recent deal was a whopping 40% discount as well. In a sense, what happens is Saver Awards are those limited time promotional awards that are offered often at a discount when Singapore Airlines is running a promotion. In contrast, the Advantage Awards are priced higher, and they're usually available when you're trying to redeem them on the Singapore Airlines website because there's a lot more inventory as compared to the Saver Awards, which are priced a lot cheaper. Now, for the purpose of this particular episode, we are only looking at Saver Awards because when we're looking to redeem our miles, we usually end up booking Saver Awards because they're priced a lot lower. Singapore Airlines runs a zone-based award chart. Now, what it basically means is they have classified different parts of the world, different countries of the world into different zones. And depending on the distance and the way Singapore Airlines prices the awards, you will pay a certain amount based on how far you're flying. So, just to give you an example, zone number 1 is Singapore. Zone number 2 is Malaysia, Indonesia, and Brunei. Zone number 3, Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, Myanmar, and Cambodia. So you get the drift over here. As we go along, you will see the names of different regions and countries. So for the purpose of this episode, let's have a look at a few examples, and we can have a few things in mind as we go along. Zone number 1, let's remember, zone number 1 is Singapore. India is zone number 6. And then, as you go all the way down further, zone number 12 is the US West Coast, and zone number 13 is the US East Coast. Now, why am I marking these 4 regions out? Because that's how I have been redeeming Singapore Airlines KrisFlyer miles over the years, or these are the 4 primary airports or regions to which I've been primarily redeeming miles for outsized value. Now, what's happening over here? Let's have a look at some of the pricing. So let's say Zone 1 is Singapore and Zone 12 is West Coast. So these are one-way awards, remember, figures in thousands of KrisFlyer miles. If you have to fly from San Francisco to Singapore or Singapore to San Francisco, whichever direction, you will pay at least 44,000 miles. This is for economy award tickets. That price goes up to 79,000 for premium economy. However, here's where the big jump is really seen. 12,500 miles for one-way business class ticket and a whopping 154,000 miles to fly in first class. If you look at the US East Coast in comparison, that is also priced higher. 46,000 miles in economy 84,500 miles in premium economy. That is really expensive from a premium economy ticket. And then let's have a look at business. 117,000 miles. And then 156,000 miles to fly one way in first class. Now, that is where it really hurts in terms of the increases in pricing. Now, let's have a look at some of the other regions. If you've been following the podcast for a while now, you may have figured out that one of my favorite redemptions is to use Singapore Airlines KrisFlyer miles during their spontaneous escape promotions, and how the price drops down from 42,000 miles to just 30,000 miles one way in business class between Mumbai and Singapore or on the way back. That is also about to increase in price. Now, let's have a look at zone number 1, which is Singapore, and zone number 6, which is India. Now, in this case, what's going to happen is the prices are going up. 19,000 miles in economy, 36,000 miles in premium economy, 45,000 instead of the current 42,000 miles in business class, and then first class is going even further up to 61,500 miles. Now, that just goes to show that if you are planning on flying premium cabins in the near future, then your prices are about to go up significantly, anywhere between 10 to 20% based on the region. As we scroll further, you will see information for all the other countries. You will see a clear theme in the sense that their prices going up, especially for Europe and North America. All right, so before we wrap up the episode, let's quickly round up the things that we covered. Number 1, Singapore Airlines has enhanced the ability to help you redeem their flights with Scoot, which is a subsidiary of Singapore Airlines. So you have more options to earn your miles and redeem with Scoot. Number 2, Singapore has introduced something called as Access Awards, which help you add an extra mileage component when a flight is available using your miles. Singapore Airlines has introduced something called as Access Awards, which helps you confirm the ticket instead of having to waitlist or look around for confirmed seat availability. However, the price that they will be charging you for making or booking that Access Award is variable, and that is something that is still up in the air, and we won't know this until the changes are actually rolled out on their website. Number 3, if you're someone who loves redeeming Singapore Airlines miles for premium cabins, your prices are about to go up anywhere between 10 to 20%. Bear in mind that unlike other mileage programs, the great thing about Singapore Airlines is that they still have an award chart and are still offering a pretty good deal of predictability when it comes to their pricing for award tickets. All right, then, that's all for this particular episode. We hope this was informative and educative. Just a couple of things before we end. Firstly, the changes recently announced will only go into effect from November 1st, including their brand new award chart. So if you're looking to book and fly very soon, it would be best if you do so and buy your ticket before October 31st, 2025. Secondly, for more details and to check out all the information in great depth, click on the link in the description. I have written an article which goes deep into the things that we just mentioned. You'll also find a link to Singapore's own website, which talks about all the details in addition to some frequently asked questions. So that wraps up yet another episode of the Travel Dialogue podcast. Thank you once again for watching. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube and become a part of the Travel Tribe as we grow the podcast. You can also find the podcast on other platforms like Apple Podcasts and more. You will find us on social media at the Travel Dialogue Podcast on X, Instagram, and Facebook as well. Partner with us in the growth of the podcast by supporting us through any of the links in the description below. Until then, have a great one, and we will see you in the next episode.